So today we'll do revision of peritoneum. Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So how is your day going on, my dear student? Are you there? Nobody is there?
Yes, ma'am.
So how is your day going on?
Good, ma'am.
Good. Okay. So today we'll do revision of the peritoneum. Okay. First, I'll just give brief outline on the peritoneum, the important topics that we mostly ask in the SAQ, PVQ, and in the semester and university. And then afterwards, if there is any queries, we will discuss. Okay. Shall I start?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm directly entering into the, because students find difficulty in the disposition of the peritoneum. So I'm directly studying into the vertical disposition of the peritoneum. Now here you can see this is the vertical disposition of peritoneum. This is the vertical disposition of the peritoneum. Okay, where the parietal, this is the parietal peritoneum reflected to the visceral peritoneum. So how the reflection of the parietal peritoneum to the visceral peritoneum takes place. Now here you see the parietal peritoneum lines the anterior wall of abdomen. Then on the inferior surface of the diaphragm, from there it is reflected towards the liver as a ligament known as, what is the name of this ligament? As this ligament, what is this ligament? Falciform ligament. Then encloses the anterior, here you see, and which surface? Inferior surface of the liver. Then from the inferior surface of the liver, it is reflected to the lesser curvature of the stomach. This is the stomach. Lesser curvature of the stomach as the layer of omentum, lesser omentum. This is anterior layer of lesser omentum. Then from the lesser curvature, this is the lesser curvature here, it is reflected and lines the anterior surface of the stomach. Then from the greater curvature, it suspends downward as the first and second layer of greater omentum. The first layer will fold upon itself. Here you can see it fold upon itself and forms this layer. Which layer is this? Fourth layer. Then here you see, okay, and then it lines the posterior inferior surface of the transverse colon. Then reflected upward as a inferior layer of which mesocolon? Transverse mesocolon. Then lines the, which wall is this? Posterior abdominal wall. And from there it reflected as a peritoneal fold. Which layer is this? Peritoneal fold known as mesentery. Which layer of the mesentery? Anterior or right layer. Then it invests the small intestine here and continue as a posterior or the left layer. Then again reflected back to the posterior wall of abdomen. From there it enters into the pelvis. What is this here? Pelvis. In the pelvis, in the case of the male, it lines the anterior surface of the rectum and directly reflected towards the urinary bladder as a rectovesical pouch. Whereas in the case of the female, here you can see It first line the rectum, then reflected onwards towards the posterior fornix of vagina and posterior surface of the uterus as a rectouterine pouch of Douglas. Then after lining the posterior surface of the uterus, fundus of the uterus, anterior surface of the uterus, it reflected towards the urinary bladder, forming a shallow pouch. What is the name of this pouch? This is known as vesicouterine pouch. And after forming this pouch, it reflected back towards the anterior wall of abdomen as a parietal peritoneum. So this is which disposition? Which disposition is this? Vertical disposition. Am I clear? Is there any question on the vertical disposition of the peritoneum? Can you draw a well-labeled diagram showing the vertical disposition of the peritoneum? All of you in the exam? Is there any question? Please answer the question. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Any question in the vertical disposition? Clear? Shall I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now another important topic on the peritoneum is greater omentum. This peritoneal fold here you see, this peritoneal fold suspending from the greater curvature of the stomach to the transverse colon. This is known as greater omentum. Now this greater omentum consists of 4 layers. Okay, you will see this 4 layers in the sagittal section. 4 layers. This is the 4 layers. Okay, and they fused and form this thin transparent fenestrated membrane which contains the fat. Now it consists of the 2 seats. What are the attachment? 2 seats. Anterior seat. This is the anterior seat. And here you see this is the posterior seat. Now anterior seat is suspend downward from the which curvature of the stomach is this? Which curvature? Greater curvature of the stomach and first part of the duodenum. Okay, the anterior seat here you can see fold upon itself to form the posterior seat. This posterior seat encloses the anterior superior surface of the transverse colon and continue upward as a transverse mesocolon and continue lining the posterior wall of abdomen. Yes, so this is the posterior seat. Okay, very easy. So greater omentum consists of the anterior seat and posterior seat. Yes. Now contents, here you can see the content. This is the greater omentum. This is small branches, these branches and tributaries. These all are the branches and tributaries of the vessels which runs on the greater curvature of the stomach. There are 2 vessels, one running from the left side, another from the right side. Those 2 vessels are known as right and left. These 2 vessels are right and left gastroepiploic vessels. So the branches are and tributaries of right and left gastroepiploic vessels. In addition to it, here you can see this yellow color. What are these? They consist of abundant amount of the fat. In addition to the fat, there is also presence of the abundant amount of the macrophages. These macrophages are seen as a milky spots. And what is the main function of this macrophages? It protects the peritoneal cavity from the infection, against infection. And another important function is, as it consists of abundant amount of the macrophages, wherever there is an infection in the peritoneal cavity, this greater omentum will move towards the area of the infection and limits the spread of the infection. That is why the greater omentum is also regarded as policeman of abdomen. This greater omentum also acts as a partition between the compartment, between the supracolic and infracolic compartment of greater sac. In addition to it, this greater omentum consists of abundant amount of fat. So it is also a storehouse of fat. Am I clear in the greater omentum? Can you write down short notes on greater omentum? Attachment, content, function, and applied. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, lesser omentum. Here you can see this is the lesser omentum. Lesser omentum. It is a peritoneal fold which is attached to this lesser curvature of the stomach and upper border of first inch of duodenum to the liver. It has two portions. It has two portions. What are the two portions? The part which is between the liver and stomach is hepatogastric. The part between liver and duodenum is hepatoduodenal. It consists of right free margin. This is the right free margin. Behind the right free margin, it consists of a foramen which communicate the lesser sac with greater sac. What is the name of this foramen? Epiploic foramen. And now the attachment. The attachment of the lesser omentum is very important. Is Potter point of view, SAQ point of view, and university point of view. It is attached inferiorly to the lesser curvature of the stomach and first 2.5 centimeter of first part of duodenum. Superiorly, it is attached to the, it has a inverted L-shaped attachment to the porta hepatis. So vertical limb is attached to this floor of the fissure for ligamentum venosum, and horizontal limb is attached to the margin or the lip of the porta hepatis. Clear? Then content. Very easy. Along the right free margin, the content are, this green color is bile duct, hepatic artery proper. This blue color is portal vein. Yes. In addition to it, there is presence of lymph node, lymphatics, and hepatic plexus. Along the lesser curvature, this is the right gastric artery. This is the left gastric artery. Yes, right and left gastric artery. Along with the artery there will be vein. So right and left gastric vessels. Then here you can see these are the branches of the nerves, gastric nerves, vagus nerve. Yes. In addition to the vagus nerve branches, here you can see these all are the lymph node, gastric group of the lymph node. So these are the content of lesser omentum. Okay. So lesser omentum and greater omentum is very, very important question. Am I clear? Is there any queries regarding lesser and greater omentum, peritoneal fold suspending the stomach? Any question? Shall I proceed?
Yes.
All of you, only one or two are answering?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now lesser sac. My dear student, this blue color sac is known as lesser sac. This is the lesser sac. Lesser sac is a diverticulum of the greater sac. It lies behind the stomach. Here you can see. And what is this? Lesser omentum. And which process of the liver? Caudate. This part is caudate process and caudate lobe of the liver. It is communicate with the greater sac. This pink color big peritoneal cavity. This is greater sac. It communicate to the greater sac through this foramina. Behind the right free margin of lesser omentum, what is the name of this foramina? Epiploic foramen. Epiploic foramen. Clear? Now the boundaries is very important and little tricky, so listen carefully, and if you have any queries here, please ask. Okay. So anterior wall. This is the anterior wall. This is the anterior, you know this. This aspect is posterior. Here is superior. This aspect is inferior. So the anterior wall of the lesser sac are, here you see caudate lobe and caudate process of the liver, this part. Then lesser omentum. Which layer of the lesser omentum here? Posterior layer of lesser omentum. Then which surface of the stomach? Posterior surface of the stomach. Then first and second layer of the greater omentum, especially which layer? Second layer of the greater omentum. These are the anterior wall of the lesser sac. Very easy, yes? Now the posterior wall, if you go from inferior to superior, third and fourth layer of the greater omentum, especially third layer. Then here you see this is the anterior superior surface of transverse colon, then transverse mesocolon, and this peritoneum. What is this? This is the peritoneum covering these structures of the posterior wall of the abdomen. These all structures are the structures which form the bed for the stomach. So these are known as, what are these structure? Stomach bed. So peritoneum covering the stomach bed. So posterior wall, yes. Here you can see, very interesting. Can you see this? These all structure, my dear student. These all are the structure which on which the posterior surface of the stomach rests. So these structures are known as the stomach bed. And here you can see the lining. This lining is the peritoneum. So posterior wall is formed by the peritoneum covering the structures forming the stomach bed. Yes. Very easy, anterior wall and posterior wall of lesser sac. Can you write down? Anterior wall of lesser sac, enumerate the structures forming the anterior wall of lesser sac in 1 marks question, 2 marks question, SAQ, or posterior wall. Can you do, all of you? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Then?
Yes, ma'am.
Very easy. This is right side. Yes, this is which side? You know, towards the liver is the right side, towards the stomach is the left side. So this border here, which border is this? This is which border of the lesser sac here? This is right border. Now below the transverse colon here, below the transverse colon, the right border of the lesser sac is formed by free margin of, what is this? Free margin of greater omentum. Then between the transverse colon, here this is the transverse colon, my dear student, and this is the first part of duodenum. This is the duodenum. And this is pyloric, and more towards the right side here is the duodenum. So between the duodenum and the transverse colon here, it is the peritoneum reflection of peritoneum from the neck of the pancreas to the first part of the duodenum, right border. Then between this is the duodenum, yes, this is the duodenum, between duodenum and this is the liver. Between the duodenum and liver, here there is no right border, here it is deficient. What is lying here? Which foramen? Epiploic foramen. So epiploic foramen, and here lies the floor of epiploic foramen. Yes. Then above the epiploic foramen, the right border of the lesser sac is formed by, here you can see, this is the right border, my dear student. Yes, yes, this is the right border. Right border is formed by the peritoneal reflection. This is, what is this? This is diaphragm. Yes, you know this. So peritoneal reflection from the diaphragm to the right margin of caudate lobe. Which lobe of the liver lies at this point? Caudate lobe of the liver along the left edge of fissure for, which vein is this? Which vein is this? Left edge of fissure for inferior vena cava. So this is the right border of the lesser sac. Okay. Now left border, this side. This is the left side. So left border above the cardiac, this is the cardiac end of the stomach, all of you know this. Above the cardiac end of the stomach, the left border of the lesser sac is formed by this ligament. This ligament is between the stomach and the diaphragm. So this is known as gastrophrenic ligament. Then between the transverse colon, here it is transverse colon, yes, between the transverse colon and stomach, the left border of the lesser sac is formed by the ligaments. What are the ligaments? The ligament between stomach and spleen, gastrosplenic, and ligament between spleen and kidney, kidney not shown here. What is the name of the ligament? Lienorenal ligament. And below this, below the transverse colon, this part, below the transverse colon, the left border is formed by the left free margin of greater omentum. Left free margin of greater omentum. Now, my dear student, the upper border, this narrow part, this narrow is the upper border of the lesser sac, yes. The upper border is very easy here. You can see the reflection of the peritoneum. This line is the reflection of the peritoneum from the diaphragm to the, what is this? Which part of GIT is this? Esophagus. And here at this point, caudate lobe, and at this point there is a fissure. So from diaphragm to the esophagus, from diaphragm to the fissure for ligamentum venosum, and to the which lobe of the liver? Caudate lobe of the liver. So this narrow margin is the upper border of lesser sac. This is the lesser sac, my dear student. Yes. Now the lower border, here you can see, lower border is very easy. This is the lower border. The lower border is formed by the continuation of the folding of anterior seat of greater omentum with posterior seat. So this is the lower border, where there is a continuation of second layer of greater omentum with third layer. Yes, yes. What happens? This folding continuation is there. The presence of continuation is there at up to the newborn. Okay. After puberty, what happens? This all four layer, first and second layer and third and fourth layer below the transverse colon, they fuses and form a thin transparent membrane laden with abundant amount of fat known as greater omentum. So the lesser sac after puberty always lies above the transverse colon up to here, behind the stomach. Whereas in the neonate, it may extend up to the folding of the second layer with the third layer of the greater omentum. Greater omentum. Okay, now here it is little tricky. In the boundaries of the lesser sac, my dear student. Now anybody illustrate the anterior boundary of the lesser sac? Please enumerate the anterior boundary of the lesser sac. I'm using the red color highlighter. Which boundary I am drawing?
Anterior boundary.
Yes. What are the structure forming the anterior boundary of the lesser sac? Can you enumerate from inferior to superior?
The second layer of the greater omentum.
Very
and
good.
Posterior surface of the stomach.
Then
and posterior surface of lesser sac and
lesser
caudate
omentum.
process, lesser
Posterior.
omentum and
Yes. And which process of liver?
Caudate process of liver and the caudate lobe.
Yes. Now another person can, I will use different color here. Identify the blue mark boundary of the lesser sac. Nobody is there. Identify the blue color boundary of the lesser sac. Which boundary is this? Blue mark. I'm using blue color here, see. Which boundary is this? Posterior. Very good. Can you enumerate the structure forming the posterior boundary of the lesser sac from superior to inferior?
Transverse colon.
No, transverse colon is there, but please say it in order. That is how which present in our body from superiorly. Can you see this? I'm encircling.
Peritoneum covering the structures forming stomach bed.
Very good. Then below this, what is this?
Anterosuperior surface of transverse colon and the
No,
transverse mesocolon.
yes. The first comes the transverse colon. Below mesocolon is transverse colon. Then what is this? Which layer of greater omentum?
Posterior layer, third layer of greater omentum.
Very good. Now, anybody, can you enumerate the structures, boundary, right border of the lesser sac? What is this? Blue arrow border.
Right margin.
Yes, right border of the lesser sac. Very good. Now, what are the structures forming the right border of the lesser sac? You can go either way, either ascending or descending. Your choice. Below the transverse colon, the right border of the lesser sac is formed by
Head-free margin of greater omentum.
very good. Between the transverse colon and duodenum, the right border of the lesser sac is formed by
The ligament extending from the neck of the pancreas to
here you
the
can see. See,
transverse
this is
colon.
neck of the pancreas to the duodenum. See, this is duodenum. Can you see this line of reflection? This line of reflection. Yes. Then between the duodenum and liver, here is liver. They have taken out the liver in this picture. What is here? Is there right border? No. What is here?
Epiploic foramen.
Very good. And above the epiploic foramen, this right border is formed by reflection of peritoneum from what is this?
Diaphragm.
Diaphragm to
surface of the inferior.
yes, diaphragm to which lobe of the liver?
Right.
Caudate lobe of the liver, right margin of caudate lobe of the liver. Where lies the fissure for? Along the left edge of fissure for which vein is this? Along the left edge of fissure for inferior vena cava. Very good. Then the left boundary of the lesser sac or the left border of the lesser sac, what are the structure forming the left border above the transverse colon? What is this ligament?
Gastrophrenic.
Very good. Below gastrophrenic, which ligament? What is this?
Gastrospleen.
Very good. And between the spleen and kidney? Another name of his spleen. Very good. Linorenal. Then below the transverse colon, left border is formed by this margin.
Left border of greater omentum.
Very good. Left border of greater omentum. Now you can see, my dear student, what is this narrow margin? Which border is this of the lesser sac? This one. Okay, I will use different color. Red color will be. Now can you see this narrow? Yes. Which border of the lesser sac is this? It is a very narrow border.
Upper border.
Yes, and what are the upper border of the lesser sac is formed by the reflection of the peritoneum from the diaphragm to along the left side. What is this? Diaphragm to, very good. Diaphragm to esophagus and diaphragm to which lobe of the liver lies here? Which lobe of the liver lies here?
Caudate lobe.
Yes, caudate lobe of the liver. And along that there lies a fissure for a vein. Very important vein, ductus venosum in the fetal life. What is the name of the fissure there? What is the name of the fissure? Fissure for ligamentum venosum. Yes. Now, my dear student, which border is this? Which border is this?
Lower border.
Very good. Inferior border. Inferior border of the lesser sac is formed by the
reflection of greater momentum. First and second layer greater.
Yes. You have, yes, you have a concept. Instead of saying reflection, we can say folding of greater momentum. Okay, folding of the greater momentum, or you can say continuation of second layer of greater momentum with third layer. And this continuation of the second layer with third layer will persist till which age? This first layer, second, yes, first layer, second layer, third layer and fourth layer all fuse at the period of the puberty and forms a thin transparent membrane, and the fold is known as, what is the name of this thin transparent membrane laden with abundant amount of the fat suspended from greater curvature of the stomach?
Greater momentum.
Greater momentum. Is it clear now? Boundaries of lesser sac, it is quite tricky. I believe all of you are clear, but still if there is any queries you can ask. Okay. Now another very important for the spotter point of view and SAQ point of view is epiploic foramen. Epiploic foramen, here you can see this is a vertical slit. It communicates the lesser sac. This is lesser sac with the greater sac. Okay, it lies behind the right free margin. This is the right free margin of the lesser omentum. It lies at the level of the T2L vertebra. This is T2L vertebra. Okay, and the boundary of the lesser sac is very important, very important. What are the boundary? Anterior boundary is right free margin of the lesser sac with its content. What are the content? Hepatic artery proper, bile duct and portal vein. Posterior boundary is formed by the body of T12 and which gland? Right. This is, it is not here present. Above the right kidney, here lies one gland. What is the name of this gland? Right suprarenal gland. Okay. Okay. Then superior boundary, you can see this is the cross section, so you can see only anterior and posterior boundary. In the sagittal section you can see the superior and inferior boundary. The superior boundary is formed by this caudate process of the liver, and inferior boundary is formed by the first part of the duodenum, and along the first part of the duodenum there runs the hepatic artery. And what is the very clinical importance of this epiploic foramen? The clinical importance of this epiploic foramen is it acts as a communication between the greater sac and lesser sac, one point. Another point is sometimes the loop of the small intestine may enter into the lesser sac from the greater sac, and the condition is known as internal hernia. It is known as internal hernia. So that is a very important clinical aspect associated with the lesser sac. Okay. Then another very important for the spotter point of view and SAQ also is the mesentery. This is the mesentery. Mesentery is the peritoneal fold which suspend the small intestine from posterior wall of abdomen. It consists of the two border. Okay. Here you can see this is the attached border. Okay. Attached border is also known as root of mesentery. It is of 6 inch. It extends from this flexor here. Can you see this flexor? Duodenojejunal flexor to this joint. Here lies one joint between the ilium of the hip bone and the sacrum. What is the name of the joint? Right sacroiliac joint. And here this is the very important point we always asked in the spotter every time. Enumerate the structure crossed by the root of the mesentery. Always ask question. The structure crossed by the root of the mesentery are, you can see the structure here, very easy. What are the structure? Which part of duodenum here? This is the third part of the duodenum. Then big vessel, abdominal aorta. This is the abdominal aorta. Then this big vein, inferior vena cava. Yes, yes. Then these vessels here. Can you see this? This vessel here. This one. These are gonadal vessels. Which gonadal? This is on the right side. So right gonadal vessels. This ureter. Which ureter is this? Right ureter. Yes. Which muscle lies deeply? Which psoas major? Right psoas major. And here you can see a very thin nerve, which is not, here you can see this nerve. This nerve. This is known as which nerve? Right genitofemoral nerve. And which joint lies at this aspect? Right sacroiliac joint. So these are the structure crossed by the root of the mesentery. Root of the mesentery. Yes. Now this border. Can you see this border? This border, which resemble like a hem of a frock. This border is known as free border. And as it encloses the small intestine, this is known as intestinal border. It is about 6 meters in length and it encloses the gut and forms the visceral peritoneum. Now, what is the content of the mesentery? The content of the mesentery are, can you see this vein? This is superior mesenteric vein. This is superior mesenteric artery. The mesentery consists of these all branches of jejunal and ileal branches of superior mesenteric artery and accompanying veins. Tributaries of superior mesenteric veins. In addition to it, it consists of autonomic nerve plexus, sympathetic and parasympathetic, and lymphatic plexus. My dear student, is it clear? Mesentery?
Yes.
Root of the mesentery? Only one student said yes. That means all remaining. Do I need to explain again? Please answer. Give me some Bournvita and Boost by answering the question. Hello.
Yes.
Only you are only there. Remaining, what you are watching movies, naughty fellows. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear mesentery?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I
Yes,
proceed?
ma'am.
Shall I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The another important, very important for the peritoneum. Exam point. I am only dealing with the exam point of view questions. These are the important question in the peritoneum. One that is hepatorenal pouch of Morrison. This is the this pouch is known as hepatorenal pouch of Morrison. Okay. And this, it is bounded anteriorly by the inferior, which surface of the liver? This is inferior surface of the right lobe of the liver and gallbladder. Posteriorly bounded by this, which kidney? The right kidney. Okay, upper part of the right kidney, right suprarenal gland. Here you can see right kidney, Right suprarenal gland. Yes. Which part of duodenum? Second part of duodenum. Here you can see this is second part of duodenum. And which flexor lies here? Very easy. Right colic flexor, also known as hepatic flexor of the colon. And which mesocolon is attached here, my dear student? All of you know this. Transverse mesocolon. And small part of head of pancreas. Head of pancreas. So these are the posterior boundaries. Superior boundary, here you can see, very easy, is the inferior layer. This is the superior boundary. Superior boundary is formed by inferior layer of coronary ligament. And inferiorly, hepatorenal pouch of Morrison is open to the greater sac. On the left side, this communicate with the lesser sac through the epiploic foramen. On the right side, it is limited by the diaphragm. And what is the very, very important clinical anatomy? It is the most dependent part of the abdominal cavity or peritoneal cavity, greater sac, and it is the commonest site of the subphrenic abscesses. Yes, on the basis of its communication, it may also, the abscesses may also trickle down to the lesser sac through the epiploic foramen, or may trickle down into the greater sac inferiorly, even into the pelvis, Yes, so this is the importance of the hepatorenal pouch of Morrison. You focus on the name. Hepato means liver, renal means kidney. A pouch between the liver and the right kidney posteriorly. A subphrenic space known as hepatorenal pouch of Morrison. Now, another very important pouch in the pelvis. This is very important in the case of the female. And here you can see this is the pouch, which is a deep pouch between the uterus and the rectum. What is the name of this pouch? Recto-uterine pouch of Douglas. It is the most dependent part of peritoneal cavity. It is bounded anteriorly by uterus and fornix. Which fornix is this? Posterior fornix here. Posteriorly, it is bounded by peritoneum lining the rectum. Inferiorly by this fold. What is the name of this fold between the rectum and vagina? Recto-vaginal fold of peritoneum. And what is the importance? In the standing position, it is the commonest site for the collection of the pus. It can be drained. This pus and the fluid can be drained either through the rectum or through the posterior fornix of vagina. This floor of the recto-uterine pouch of the Douglas lies about 5.5 centimeter above the anus. This is anus. And you can easily palpate this by per anal examination or per vaginal examination by passing the finger through the rectum or vagina. Okay, rectum or vagina. So this is the important part of the peritoneum. Now, Sonam. Are you there, Sonam?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you elaborate on the boundary of the recto-uterine pouch of Douglas?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, anteriorly it is bounded by uterus and posterior fornix.
Yes.
Posteriorly it is lined by the peritoneum lining the rectum.
Yes.
And inferiorly it is bounded by the recto-vaginal fold of peritoneum.
Very good, Sonam. Now, Nitesh Kumar Das. Are you there? Nitesh Kumar Das? No? Nitesh? No, Nitesh? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Nitesh, can you tell me the posterior boundary of epiploic foramen? I will not show this slide.
R- inferior vena cava.
Okay, which vertebra? T12, L1, L2,
T12
L3.
T12 to
T12.
L1.
T12
T12
vertebra.
vertebra.
T12 vertebra.
Right
Very good.
suprarenal gland.
Yes. Now, very good. Okay. Now, Sunny Kurmi. Are you there, Sunny? No?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Sunny. What is the name of the ligament above the transverse colon which forms the left border of lesser sac? Can you see?
Gastrophrenic ligament.
Very good. And others? You imagine in your body, below diaphragm on the left side, there is a stomach, and more towards on the left side, adjacent to the stomach, which visceralize, it is a hemopoietic organ.
Gastrosplenic and duodenal ligament.
Yes. Now below the transverse colon, left border of the lesser sac is formed by, very easy. A big peritoneal fold is suspending whose left margin forms the left border. What is the name of the peritoneal fold? Below the transverse colon, whose left margin forms the left border of the lesser sac.
And left free margin of the greater E bottom.
Very good. Very good. Now Tanuja Khatri, are you there, Tanuja? No? Tanuja?
Yes, ma'am.
Tanuja. For exam point of view, mention the attachment of the lesser omentum. Superior attachment of the lesser omentum.
Ma'am, to the liver.
Yes. Very good. To the liver. Excellent. But can you be specific?
Vertical limb to the ligament venosum.
Yes.
And horizontal limb to margin of porta hepatica.
Very good. Now, what are the contents of the lesser omentum along the right free margin?
Hepatic artery, portal
Yes.
vein,
And
bile duct.
very good. So, are you clear, all of you? Peritoneum?
Yes, ma'am.
All of you, is there any question?
No, ma'am.
Okay, last I will ask Hirumini. Are you there, Hirumini? No? Those who will not answer will not get attendance. Okay. No, Hirumini. Minralini, Kumari, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mrinalini. Mrinalini, what is the attachment of the greater omentum? Very easy question. It is a peritoneal fold suspending from which curvature of the stomach? Mrinalini, lesser curvature or greater curvature? Very good. Then
Greater curvature.
so it has two seats. What are the two seats? This is which seat?
Ma'am, posterior.
This is anterior, this is posterior. It has two seats, anterior seat and posterior seat. Anterior seat is attached to which curvature of the stomach?
Greater curvature.
And which part of duodenum?
Fourth part.
Very good. Posterior sheet is attached to which surface of the transverse colon?
Anterior superior.
Yes. If you remember this diagram, Mrinalini, you can easily produce the attachment of greater omentum for exam point of view. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all of you. Now I will download the attendance. Okay, once more. Okay. Okay, now we have done the revision of the peritoneum, but still if there is any queries, feel free to ask me. Okay, all of you? Yes?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, dear.
Ma'am, why is the Morrison